Okay, so I was scrolling through Reddit and I saw this absolute banger of a post. Uh, I don't get how people think Brain Freeze is bad and post this deck with 4 Pogo, 4 Cryo Yeti, 4 Mug, 4 Gargolith, 3 Zomba. It's like, how is Brain Freeze bad? I really don't get how people say Brain Freeze bad. The comments are obviously like, I like nobody has ever said that Brain Freeze is bad. Who told you that? Pre-patch clips of Ryan. I have to make this abundantly clear. 99.9% of everyone who actually plays this game that I've ever met can agree that this patch, Brain Freeze, is barely 40% win rate, right? I'm gonna explain you why. Give it a sec. Oh, I forgot. That was a screenshot. Anyway, let's go to the list. Let's do the same thing as we did for Dream Shadow. Let's look for the list, right? Say opponent plays Sunshroom turn 1. How can we possibly deal with that? I mean, there is Cheese Cutter, but we play Cheese Cutter first, so if Sunshroom happens after the Cheese Cutter, we're kind of cooked. There is Dog Walker, but if they have anything Little Body related, the Dog Walker just doesn't work. Also, this card is so horrible. If you top deck this literally any other turn other than turn 1, you just lose the game. There's Nibble. At Sunshroom is 2 health. There's Extinction Event, but by the time you can Extinction Event, the Sunshroom is 3 health. And there is Alien Ooze, but by the time you can Alien Ooze, they already have played a 5 cost. So here is the idea, right? Brain Freeze cannot deal with Sunshroom. He just can't. Even in this scenario, if you run 4x of this card, something the community simply cannot wrap their mind around. Even if you run 4x of a card, and you roll your entire hand just to get one of these, there is only a 40% chance that will happen. So the other 60% of the games, if the opponent plays any amount of Sunshroom, you just have no answers. You just have no answers. That's why Brain Freeze is bad. I'm sorry to tell you, Brain Freeze is garbage. But that's not why we are here. We are here to discuss how to build Brain Freeze. So first thing you do, you remember that one thing I said about running 3x Espresso in every single Mega Grow, where there is something for Beastie as well. You click this card, you do this. Very simple. It wins you games by itself. It's very simple, it's very effective, it does its things, right? Here is a direction immediately, like, goes into a couple of separate directions. You can do 2 things. You can play the objectively more consistent card, which is Mini Ninja. Mini Ninja is actually really threatening. In Brain Freeze specifically, it's an amazing card, and it trades with everything. So this is just a good card to run. Or, instead of this, you can cope about trying to answer Sunshroom. You can try running one of these. You will lose to Sunshroom a little less, but you will lose against everything a little more. So it's your choice. Besides, I forgot, by the way, this is not even a good answer to Solar, because Solar just skips, this hits face, next turn they 2 Pepper Body, and you're just completely cooked, because guess what? Brain Freeze doesn't have an answer to that either. You just lose to that now. It's just whatever. So 2 directions, you can either do that, you can either do that. Some people have done chest, but honestly, Brain Freeze isn't that much of a chest hero. Then, let's see, you either do this, you either do this. I'll do the competitive thing. I'll just put 3 of these, and we'll call it a day. Brain Freeze likes running Nibble. I'm actually not very sure why this works on the hero that well, but every single competitive deck runs at least a couple of these. It just works on this hero. But just trust the pro. I think mostly because there's so many cards that leave like important amount of HPs on one. Just forget that. Brain Freeze, you have to run 4x space time. This is just what happens. And then from here, it's like can sometimes branch out as well. There has been some new Botanist Brain Freeze stuff, but honestly, it's kind of cope. I really don't like that. What you like to do instead is run this card, pray that Cabbage Pool doesn't happen. Again, another Brain Freeze nerf, because we needed that for some reason. Play Extinction Event. Extinction Event is a really good trick. And then you put this card. 4x of this card on any beastie is 90% of the times a good idea. The only hero that doesn't like running it, it's Smash, because it already has Black Hole. But even then, I would argue it's not that bad to run if you are like not gonna do going viral. Yeah, it's just an amazing environment. It's like objectively either high A or low S tier. Like, it's a good card. And then you do the one thing that actually makes Brain Freeze threatening, which is this and this. So the only reason why Brain Freeze can even sometimes win games is because this has been buffed, where it freezes every single plant, right? So what you do is you play that with this, and sometimes you will just get a 20/20 Cryo Yeti. The problem with that, you have absolutely no like consistent setup for your Cryo Yeti, and even if you do get your Cryo Yeti down, half of the times you won't even have the power, because you either had to use it early or you just never got it. It's just how the hero works. It's just garbage, I'm sorry to tell you. Then you have to run most of the more competitive stuff usually has to run Pogo, because hey, guess what? You have absolutely no way to deal with Sunshroom stuff. The only hope you can ever possibly have is doing Pogo. And then the modern Brain Freeze also does some of this. And you look at this, you really try to concentrate on what's going on in here. It's like the very modern stuff of how you're supposed to play. You start thinking about it and you start noticing, hey, I'm just running Infinity, but much, much worse. You know what I'm saying? Look, this hero just sucks. I don't know what to tell you. Brain Freeze has no good powers. It has no good abilities. It's except for the signature. The signature is kind of strong, but everything else just doesn't work with each other. This likes opponent having a one big target. This likes you having a target. This likes opponent having a lot of small targets. And this is just a weird superpower that half the times is amazing, half the times is completely useless. Brain Freeze just doesn't have anything going for it right now. It's 50% win rate for a reason. And here's another thing I'll tell you, right? Another thing that the community is having trouble understanding. The reason why this will work in ladder is because ladder is not made for decks that are effective. So for example, Maxpresso is a deck that's dominating the meta, but why would you play Maxpresso if just a Potato Espresso can also do the same thing on turn 7 instead of turn 10? Very simple, because ladder isn't about consistency. And in the case of ladder, doing a very consistent Maxpresso turn 10 actually wins you more games than doing a very slightly less consistent Espresso turn 7. It's just how ladder works. So this is just gonna work out way more times than it's not, because you're just gonna play Cheese Cutter, the opponent's not gonna know what to do with their Sunshroom, and just game over. Or they are gonna get their Sunshroom off, they're gonna do Flourish, 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 Catch Up, Tackle, Catch Up, Tackle. Oh no, enemy played a Gravestone, I can't do anything for the rest of the game. And, you know, this is how it goes. This is how ladder goes. Like, this deck might work on the ladder, but yes, I'm not gonna lie, if you play this in a competitive set, you're probably getting completely destroyed. Mug actually is something that's been falling out of the meta recently, because it's just not that strong anymore. The combos you pull off are kind of hard. You can still do Mug, especially on Brain Freeze, because Brain Freeze literally has nothing else going on for it. You can do this. This is like an alright deck, but yeah. We go to the other decks. You remember how on Green Shadow I had like 5 decks to showcase because there is that much, even on a garbage hero like Green Shadow? Well, the problem is, on Brain Freeze there is not even that. Like, all I'm gonna show you is what budget runs these days. Honestly, I'm not a big budget guy. I don't know if this is good or bad. You play, you judge. But this is what budget does. If you're not a budget guy, if you're more of a competitive guy, this is the current competitive deck. Wait, no, this isn't. This is just the deck we just made. Hold on. Hold on. Pause. Pause. This deck was submitted like ages ago. Eons ago. This was submitted during 2024, and it's still here because there's just no better alternative. It's just Porus's. Okay, no, sorry. This was updated actually very recently. But get the point. There's barely any improvements from very old Brain Freeze, because honestly nothing has improved. And the only thing Brain Freeze can do is try to imitate being Infinity. Oh, sorry. Whoops. And what I like to play sometimes, and I only play this if I'm trying to meme around, is this. I just say, you know what? These are the only two cards that are good on this hero. Maximize the Grave Boy, maximize the Cryo Yeti, pray to get the sick, and then play a couple of Synchronized Swimmers. But even this deck, it took me 9 tries to win once against Green Shadow. You know what I'm saying? So, I guess the advice, again, for is like a final good thing to say, oh, you're gonna try to play Brain Freeze, how should you just don't. Literally just like early levels, sure, you can do Zombot control stuff, it can work out because again, leather is leather. The higher you go, the more you realize, I just click this one. Just the fact that it has discard and can also sometimes run discard just makes it so much better. It just makes it so much better. You just don't run Brain Freeze, bro. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Don't play Brain Freeze. It's a garbage here. I don't know what to tell you, bro.